StrengthsFinder's test has identified consistency as one of your strengths. Balance is important to you. You are keenly aware of the need to treat people the same. You do not want to see scales tip too far in any one person's favor. So when you see what you believe is an imbalance or an injustice, if you see one person has all the love in a relationship and the other one doesn't, that bothers you. Not only can you pick it up, but it bothers you to see that imbalance. You want to see it balanced. You want to see the tide turn more so that there's more of a balance in that relationship and that system. In your view, this imbalance leads to selfishness and individualism, a world where some people gain an unfair advantage because they're connections or because of their background or because they're greasing the wheels in some way, and that bothers you. You want to see that that equilibrium established so that one person isn't taking advantage of another person, and that person is therefore hurt. And you don't like that. You don't want to see it, and you want to bring this consistency to a relationship. You want to see it consistency come to your team. And so when you're in a team environment, it could be very handy for you to be able to look at what's going on around you and to be able to see that, hey, there's this guy here does all the talking, and there's some people here that really have some great things to share. So learn ways to look at that situation and say, hey, Jim, John has, he's got some good points here. Let's listen to him for a minute and just kind of, and so you can see, you help that balance happening, and you can be a valuable part of a team doing that. In your view, somebody that doesn't do that is selfish and is all about themselves. So this kind of stuff it really is offensive to you, and you see yourself as a guardian against it. And I think the team, if they understand that one of your strengths is to be able to help bring consistency to the whole group's input, that'll be very helpful to them. So that when you say, "Hey, John, don't do that," or "Hey, John, we need to listen to Jim more," when that happens, and if they know already ahead of time that you're about consistency, you're about helping get everybody's input and everybody's information, everybody treated the same. If they know that up front, it'll be very handy for them, it'll be helpful for them. So you believe that people function best in a consistent environment where the rules are clear and are applied to everyone equally. So if you have a team meeting, everybody has the same amount of resource, they are all working the same, then what you're trying to do is look at that and say, hey, there's this John over here, he likes to talk a lot, likes to hear himself talk, but he isn't saying a whole lot. He just likes to talk. Well, you're going to want to make sure that, hey, the rules are, we need to establish a rule here that nobody gets the floor like that and carries the conversation so much. We need to make sure that each person gets to share, because we need the input, we need the creativity of the whole group. So you need an environment where everybody knows what is expected, where it's predictable and even-handed, where it's fair, and each person has an even chance to show his or her worth. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about in this group meeting, in this group environment. You'll be able to do that, and again, help people to understand what this strength is and how it works, and it'll be a great benefit to not only to you but to the team also. So here's your action items for this team. Make a list of the rules of consistency which you can live by, based upon certain values that you have or upon certain policies that you consider non-negotiables within your organization. So that having that belief system or having those standards by which you live by will help you to create a consistent environment. And this idea of standards, I can't stress too much for you. It'll be very helpful to you. It'll be very helpful to a team to help up front establish the standards by which you're going to live your life. In the case of your personal life, establish the standards by which what your family is going to live by, what you can deal with, what you're willing to work with. And then at work, establish standards that for the team. Let them know that, hey, let's establish, and you might say this, let's establish a set of standards that we're going to all work by. And one of those might be, we're not going to let somebody talk too much. We're not going to let somebody that has a little bit of a temper blow their temper and get away with it. When somebody gets out of line, the whole team is going to confront them on it. So, whatever the standards are, whatever it is that people come to, you can be a driving force there to help establish those. Counterintuitively, the more that you're clear about these rules, the more comfortable you'll be with individuals within these boundaries. So if you establish this up front, you're going to feel much more comfortable with John, and you're going to feel much more comfortable saying, John, time out. We need to give everybody else time to talk. And if you set those standards ahead of time, you're going to feel pretty comfortable about being able to say that, and so will everybody else in the room. It'll cultivate a reputation for you for pinpointing those who really deserve the credit. In other words, you're going to say, everybody's going to look and say, yeah, John likes to talk about Jim over here. He's the one that has the answers for this stuff that we need to hear. So they're all going to continue to start looking. You'll move the team toward getting information from everybody on an equal basis. And that's very powerful. So find a role in which you can enforce compliance to a set of these standards. So tell these people, hey, look, I have this consistency thing. I can help get this. So let me provide the input to keep things running smoothly and make sure that we're getting all we need out of every member of the team. So be ready to partner with somebody with a strong maximizer or individualization theme. This strength of maximizer is one that helps people to move from okay to great. They're those people around you that can say, look, everything is okay now, but we need to move this along and just move it up a notch. And so they'll be able to help you set standards, because their whole life is about, well, this meeting that we're having, it's going okay, but it would be a lot better if we would establish some kind of a process to go in the room, because we got two really strong personalities, or nobody wants to talk, or that kind of thing. So have somebody with Maximizer help you accomplish that. And then somebody with the individualization theme, somebody who can help understand that, hey, these people are important, and they'll see it, and they'll also be on your team, and they'll help you support in your quest to make sure everybody gets treated fairly. This person can remind you when it's appropriate to accommodate individual differences. So they'll be able to say, look, this individualization theme can help you to say, hey, we need to accommodate this guy, Jim. He's really shy, and so maybe he doesn't like to talk or be the first one to talk, but you can make sure that he gets his time, and or can provide a way of input, and you say, look, can you submit the details on this project in writing for us? Would that be more comfortable? You'll be able to have this individualization theme will help you to discover that kind of thing. So keep your focus on performance. The consistent theme might lead you to overemphasize how something gets done and ignore what he or she gets done. So don't focus as much on the how. Don't force yourself to get focused on the how. Consistency can be extremely valuable.